I'm going to tell you my birth story. But before we start, please do not watch this video if you are pregnant and still need to give birth. I do not want to make you scared unnecessarily. So just watch it after you gave birth. And also, I want you to know that my birth story is not yours. You will have your own birth story. Everybody, their own birth story is different compared to the rest. So please do not compare mine with yours. And I just hope that with telling my story, I can process the whole mental part of it a bit better. But I also hope that I can help future moms or moms that struggle with mental problems after they give birth, because I found out that a lot of mommies, a lot of women, they struggle with their birth experience, with their trauma that they got after they give birth. So, yeah, I hope I can help myself, but I also hope I can help other people with my story. It all started the 25th of April in the morning. I woke up 6 o'clock, already had a bit of pain in my belly, but it was just normal cramps that I already had a few weeks before. So I thought, okay, just another day. So I woke up at 6, and that day I had an appointment with my midwife. But later on in the morning, I lost my mucus plug. So I thought this can be the beginning. So I had my appointment with the midwife around 11 o'clock. We went there and I told her about the mucus plug, and she was like, okay, it can be the start, but it doesn't have to be. And she asked me if I would like it if she checked if something already started. And I told her, like, yes, please, because I don't know, this is my first child. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how it feels. Can you just check what is going on? So she felt and she said my uterus, like the mount, I don't know how you call it in English, but my uterus was a bit like smaller and softer. So she said it can be the beginning, but it doesn't have to be. So I was like, okay, went home. In the afternoon, I started to have contractions, at least contractions as in I knew this was a contraction. It could not be anything else because it was constantly, it was coming back, it came in waves, like other moms told me from their experience. So I knew, okay, there is something going on. So, end of the afternoon, I called my midwife and I said, I think it's happening. After like every 10 minutes, I get a contraction. So I think it's happening. She said, okay, good job, keep going and make sure the contractions are getting like stronger. So I waited another like few hours, and it was 11:30 midnight, almost midnight. So the contractions were like every 5 minutes, got very strong, painful. So I decided to call my midwife again. But at my practice, there were two midwives working there, so I had the other midwife on the phone. She took over the shift, so I had her on the phone. And she told me, okay, good job. I want you to have contractions for like every 2 minutes, and they need to be stronger and more consistent. And then call me back. Then I will come to your house. So we went through the night. My mother stayed up. She was quite nervous. Alistair was next to me in the bed, but I tried to make him sleep because I was like, I don't know how long this is going to take, but we can't be exhausted together. So please let him sleep, and I will get through the night. But 5:30 in the morning, I couldn't handle it anymore. The contractions were very strong. It was every like 2 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes, but I was over it. So I called my midwife. She said, okay, I will be there in like half an hour. So she checked, and by that time, I had 5 centimeters dilation. So for the people that don't know, with 10 centimeters, you can push. So she was like, wow, okay, that is pretty quick. What do you want? And I said, okay, I want to go to the hospital because I want to go into the bath. I want to see if I like it, if I would like to do my birth in the birth bath. And it was also King's Day here in the Netherlands, which is quite a big event, and the king was actually coming to the place where I was going to give birth in the hospital. So I told her, I just want to be, before all the craziness happens in that city, I don't want to stand in traffic with this pain, so let's go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital, like 7 o'clock in the morning, we arrived there, immediately went into the bath, and I felt, and I was like, no, this is not it. I don't want to give birth in the bath. I don't feel like this is comfortable. So I went out of the bath, and a few hours later, I was in the bed. My midwife checked again. I was around like 7 centimeters. So she was like, "Okay, you're going strong. This looks good." And we went on and we went on, and a few hours later, no progression. So she told me, we need to make a plan. But because I didn't want any medication, I want to do it myself. I told her, I don't want medication. Please give me a little bit more time. I told her, just give me another hour. I'm trying. I have the feeling that the contractions are getting stronger and that I can do this. After an hour, still nothing happened. And she said, Joyce, we need to make a plan. I'm going to call the midwife from the hospital to ask her if she can check and what she thinks. So the midwife from the hospital came in and she asked me, can I check? I was like, of course you can check. So she felt, and I saw the look on her face, and she looked at my own midwife, and she said, the baby is in breech. And my midwife was looking at her like, oh, you smarty pants. But the midwife from the hospital said, okay, get that machine in, the ultrasound machine, we're going to check. So the ultrasound machine came in, and everybody in the room was quiet, like, please let this be a joke. And the machine came in, she put it on my belly, and she said, this is breech position. We need to make a plan now. Because by that time, I was already at 8 centimeters. I've been pushing through the pain until the 8 centimeters. And this is the part where it is very traumatic for me, because you never thought that your baby is in breech, and I never thought about a C-section. I never had that scenario in my head. But then they told us, like, okay, do you want to give birth in breech? And we asked, okay, what is the risks for mommy and the baby? They said, okay, it can be possible that because she comes out head last, that we need to help her with breathing. And me and Alistair said, okay, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to choose for a C-section. So it turned into an emergency C-section. And in 5 minutes, they prepared the operation room. They brought me in. I was laying on a table. It went all so quick. I was shaking because of the adrenaline, but also because I was scared. I never had an operation in my life. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if my baby was safe, if I was safe. Luckily, Alistair could come in with me. And in 5 minutes, the baby was there. They cut my belly open, and she just appeared above like a cloth. I don't know how to call it. And she was on my chest. And yeah, that was it. So it turned out that after 32 weeks, my midwife, well, actually the both of them, never did any ultrasound to see what the position was of the baby. Even the doctor said this baby never been head down. This baby always has been sitting in your belly like bum down. And the midwives, the both of them, they've seen her bum. They thought that her bum was her head all the time. Even after like feeling 4 times, maybe even 5 times during labor, and she still didn't realize that my baby was in breech position. So I cannot even imagine what would have happened if I was at home 8 centimeters and then going to the hospital. Then it would have been even worse. But what hurts me the most is that we probably could avoid a lot of the pain, especially because it took like From the contractions on, it took me 26 hours. And so we could all avoid that if they just did an ultrasound later in my pregnancy. And again, we are all human. We can make mistakes, but yeah, it is just really hard to process for me that it happened like this, because I first of all, I wasn't prepared. And I think an emergency C-section is always tough because, yeah, you think you're going to give birth, and then you have to make a decision of doing a C-section in like minutes, maybe not even minutes, in seconds, because you want to make sure that your baby and you are safe. And that is for me the most hardest part to process. But again, as I said in the beginning of the video, this is my story. This is how it happened for me. And it doesn't have to say that it's going to happen for you like that. I just hope that I can inspire and motivate women to talk about their emotions, about their trauma after they give birth, because I've experienced that it really helps to talk about it, to talk with other moms about your experience. It helped me a lot, and I had so many beautiful people supporting me, which I'm very grateful for. And yeah, I really hope that it helped me to share it with you guys, for me, but especially for other women.